So this season seems to be dealing with a lot of issues. Are we going to just keep that up every episode? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with season 2, episode 5 of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And that question I posed in the cold open is genuine. Are we going to be continuing with this? And I want to know because I think that would be really fucking cool if we did. Um, this season is dealing with a lot of issues from PTSD to systemic treatment of, prisoners and, criminals, and the just the issue of how instead of trying to redeem people, we're just focused on punishment. I talked about this all last episode, but I like that this season is tackling subjects like this. The first season tackled a lot too. Don't get me wrong. Season 1 tackled a lot of great things, but so far this season that seems to be like almost like a focus. Like they're trying to make a point of that. And that might be the case. I could completely see it being so. But I'm very curious to find out what more they can do with that. Because, like I've said before, there is absolutely no way that Lunella's PTSD is gone. She's doing better, but I bet you anything it's going to come back. I bet you anything that is going to absolutely come back. She's just, you know, at a point where she can handle it. And that's realistic. There are going to be points where it's like, oh, someone helps you through it, like Mimi helped her, or you're able to just work your way through it and just have like a moment of reprieve from the heaviness of it. And that moment can be anything from a day to a week to a month. It can be a while, but it will come back. And again, this is speaking as someone who's been through this kind of shit. It's not just PTSD, it's depression, it's anxiety, it's all of these kinds of things that make you feel this way. And you may get through it and you may have moments of victory over it, but that doesn't mean it's gone for good. Stuff like this doesn't just go away super easily. And this show, if any show is going to understand that, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur absolutely will. It's just a matter of when is it going to return at this point. So, I guess we'll see. We have other good stuff with the characters so far. I'm really hoping for some more because I really love these other characters too. Lunella's fantastic, but I love Casey, I love Devil, I love a lot of these characters that even the ones we don't get to see enough of. Like, think about it. There's a lot of characters in this series that we just don't see enough of. And the big ones for me would be the other kids. The other teenagers besides Lunella and Casey. They're classmates and everything. Like, I think we heard about them last episode or maybe the episode before, but we haven't like seen enough of them. And we saw them in a few episodes in season 1, but they're mostly side characters who don't really get a chance to shine. And I really hope that this season changes that. Because you have some great queer representation with them too. Like, I really want to see more of that, you know? So hopefully we will at some point this season have an episode or two focusing on them a lot more. Maybe even specifically Lunella's relationship with them. I could imagine an episode that focuses on like maybe they're jealous that Lunella focuses so much of her time on Casey and ignores them. Like that could be almost kind of a meta episode too, touching on the fact that the show does that. And I understand they're not going to be able to do every plot line they would wish. Like, they only have so many episodes they're going to be able to do. Like, Disney's only going to give them so much. So they're not going to be able to do every single plot line that they would like to. No show is. But hopefully they're able to get out what they want to get out and what they feel is going to work best. I have a lot of faith in this show. I really do. So it's about time we really just give this series the credit it deserves. A lot of people just still aren't really on board with this, whether just not knowing about it or haven't really given it a chance. And I really feel like this show needs to get a lot more attention. It's so good. Like, people are just assuming that a lot of the currently running stuff's not going to be as good as, like, Owl House and Amphibia and whatnot. Ghost and Molly McGee was never even given a proper chance. Like, it had a fan base, but it was super small compared to Owl House and Amphibia. Because even the fans of those two shows just never gave it a proper chance. We really need to get the word out there that these shows are on that same level. Ghost of Molly McGee may be over, but Moon Girl's still going. We need to get that word out there. We need to get people watching. Of course, Disney's fucking terrible, mind is blanking, advertisement of their shows and stuff, doesn't help. And this has been an issue with Disney just in general lately, with movies too. Disney has gotten fucking, like, atrocious at marketing. Have you noticed that? Like, I think pretty much all of their movies since COVID have been horribly marketed. And pretty much all of their new shows are just not getting the marketing they need either. I don't know what the fuck is going on at Disney, but they're just, like, purposefully choosing to not properly market their content. And they're wondering why it's doing so bad lately. They wonder why all of their recent movies are flopping. I mean, you could say whatever you want to say about the quality of them, but the fact that people are not seeing them is also because of the fact that people don't know about them. Like, you remember when Strange World came out? Nobody fucking knew that movie was even going to be a thing until the movie literally hit theaters. Elemental was a little better marketed than that, but even that just kind of was unknown by a good portion of people. Wish got very little marketing as well. There was a lot of people who didn't know about that until it came out. It's just like, what the fuck is Disney doing? Are they purposefully trying to sabotage their stuff? Is it because a lot of the recent stuff has been, quote unquote woke, and the people at Disney are trying to fight against that and trying to say, like, oh, no one's watching this woke stuff, so we have to move away from that. It's like, no one's watching because you aren't advertising, you dipshits. It has nothing to do with the content of the show or movie. It's because you aren't letting people know that these things exist. Like, the fuck? Are you Netflix now? Like, seriously, they're supposed to be the kings at bad advertising. Or not really advertising at all. It's ridiculous. That's why we as fans need to get the word out there. It just irritates me when a great show like this is just ignored. And I know there's a lot of people also ignoring it because it's a Marvel show and the entire superhero fatigue bullshit. It's like, you can't compare this to the MCU. If you're having issues with how the MCU is handling things, this is nothing like that. Don't try to use that as an excuse for not checking this out. That's just a terrible excuse. Let's just get into this. Let's not waste any more time. Let's see what this episode has in store. I'm making myself angry by talking about this shit. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, Xolo Maridueña is, he's Kid KREE in this. He's Melvar. That's pretty cool. Because yeah, I obviously know him as Miguel from Cobra Kai. We've reacted to the first 2 seasons on the channel. And although I haven't seen it, though I do want to still, he is also Jaime Reyes in the Blue Beetle movie. And I hope he gets to do a lot more. But also, that's funny. He was Blue Beetle, and now he's Kid KREE. He's both DC and Marvel. Funny little thing there. But yeah, that's really cool. I went back and listened to a little bit of it, and it's like, yeah, you can tell that's him. You can tell when you know, but that's usually how it goes. That's really cool though. I would not have guessed that. But yeah, so just the fact that the KREE are brought into this now, it's like they've obviously talked about other stuff from the MCU and Marvel, like in terms of like greater Marvel and everything. Like obviously they've mentioned Thanos. I mean, Captain America, specifically Sam Wilson's Captain America, has been shown. We also have Agent Maria Hill having been in a couple episodes. And just various things here and there that have been brought up. But now we just directly get the KREE in here. And it's like, wow, okay. So Melvar, or Marvin, is this young KREE warrior in training who is trying to impress his militaristic father, who, you know, has always wanted him to be a strong KREE warrior. And instead, he's always been more tech savvy. He's been an inventor and a nerd and everything. And so instead of focusing on things like, you know, battle and combat, he's focused on, you know, tech innovations, which he uses in battle here against Lunella, neither of them knowing each other's secret identities as they become friends in school. And we definitely see there's a little bit of a crush between them. It clearly doesn't really go anywhere like beyond friendship. They don't take it any further, but Casey ships them, which was, by the way, fucking amazing. Casey just shipping them so hard was great. But yeah, it was cool to see how they bonded through their shared love of tech and math and science and whatnot, and how we got to know the real Marvin while we also simultaneously saw Melvar trying to impress his father. And in the end, it seems like his father is one of the more reasonable KREE. Because that is definitely not always the case. But he actually saw not only the value in his son's tech and everything, not only that it could help out the KREE army and everything, but he also saw the value in his son. He didn't like have like a full-blown apology or anything for the way he had treated him, but he made up for it. He showed that he cared for him, and you could see that he was upset at the way he'd been treating him once he realized like how much it had hurt him. He is definitely one of the more reasonable KREE. You don't see that too often, but sometimes you do, I guess. I guess it just depends on the continuity. But yeah, so we have Marvin and Lunella at the end agreeing to keep in contact as Marvin gives her one of the KREE cell phones. And so that's definitely going to come back into play. Now, as for whether or not this episode touched on some notable topics like the previous episodes of the season did, it absolutely did. It touched on overbearing parentage, which is a very real topic that just plenty of people go through. I've talked about my own issues with having to deal with parents who, expect a lot from you and how they treat you when you don't live up to that. I've talked about that in my own experience. But this is something that is just unfortunately very common in the world. A lot of people have had to deal with parents who expect way too much of them and just, try to force them to live through them. It's like, oh, you're going to live out my dreams, my goals, what I want for you, not what you want for yourself. Parents do that way too often. It may not be like as heavy as some of the other stuff we've tackled in this season, but it's definitely still something that can affect a kid. Kids going through this can very much have a lot of mental health issues as they grow older. Their emotional well-being can very much be hurt through this. And obviously different people handle it different ways. Different kids will go through different things with it, but still, it's just, it's very interesting to see how this is resolved in the end and everything. Also, it's great to see LOS back. That's always cool. So there's a plus there. We haven't seen them. I don't think we've seen them since maybe the middle of last season. Maybe. We did get a few glimpses at some of the other kids in the school and everything. Some of Lunella's classmates, who were the ones I was talking about and everything. I can't remember their names offhand, but they're the ones I definitely want to see more of, and not just as background things. So hopefully we'll get more with them in the future of the season. But yeah, I really like this episode. I like just the stakes and everything brought in. Like the instant Lunella basically shit talked Marvin's father on the phone and everything, and the instant she hung up, it's like, well, we're fucked. The KREE are coming. It was so blatantly obvious that was a really big mistake. It's like, girl, no. Do not antagonize the KREE. Just don't. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get any references to Captain Marvel or whatnot. That would have been pretty cool if we had, but I can understand they're not just gonna throw those in willy-nilly when they do reference big heroes and all. I feel like they want to make it feel a little more natural rather than, oh, we have the KREE, so we have to talk about Captain Marvel, right? Not necessarily. You don't have to do that. But yeah, so it's fair that they didn't reference her. It's just I kind of would have liked it, um, I'm just interested to see what else they end up referencing in this season. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Dog might start barking in a second, but we're at the end anyways. So tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? Let me know what you thought of the integration of the KREE into this and everything. And wondering how this is going to come into play, because with the fact that she does have the cell phone to communicate with him, there is no way that's not coming into play at some point this season. That definitely has to come back. Is there going to be like this big final battle at the end of the season against someone that we're going to need to call in reinforcements for? That could be cool. But yeah, tell me your thoughts down below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.